All right, AEW Dynamite Grand Slam. This is just the starting of the show for me was the best, even though I felt like this should have been the main event. But whatever. But let's get to it. Brian Danielson feels so good to say that versus Kenny Omega. Talk about a dream match I've wanted before. These guys have gone at it before in the Indies, but these guys are a whole nother levels now. And this is a dream match for me, just like what Christian and Kenny was, which is also great. Crowd is going nuts. Great back and forth. Brian with all his chain wrestling, Kenny with all his. Guys trading chops and kicks. Brian hits that big dive of his. The chops are still going hard. Fucking Brian's chest looks like mincemeat. You Can't Escape by Kenny. Big drop kicks in the corner by Brian. He's running in like a crazy man. Kenny takes him out and about to go for the Rise of the Terminator dive. Hits the Rise of the Terminator. Omega slides him in for a near fall, which Brian then escapes, hits cattle mutilation, which is fucking awesome. Snapdragon on the stage by Kenny, and it did this cool thing where Kenny hit the Snapdragon and Brian slid down on his neck. That was really cool. Kenny goes all the way to the entrance way. He puts Brian on the rope. He runs the full length of the stage and hits a V trigger to Brian for a near fall. Kenny with a gross buckle bomb. Oh my god. Kenny chucked Brian so hard that Brian did the Ric Flair, freaking Triple H, the crazy spot where they do they get chucked into the corner and they do that crazy turnaround. It's the only way to describe it. If Brian flips over the turnbuckle and could have died, it looked really bad. Brian with a top rope superplex, back superplex for a near fall. Another V trigger, but then Brian hits the roaring elbow into a perfect regal plex for a near fall. Brian brought back everything in this match. Kenny with some headbutts to the back of Brian's head, basically, saying, Brian's got that head issue. Kenny with a top rope dragon suplex. This man has only hit this move twice, and this is three times. This is the second time. One on Okada, and now one on Brian. Another V trigger. Brian then hits a poison Rana from the momentum of the V trigger. Brian then kicks his fucking head off, how he says he's going to do. Powerbomb, flips, V trigger. Kenny then goes for the Phoenix Splash but misses. When Kenny hits the Phoenix Splash, it's crazy. Brian kicks his head off again, gets his arm, starts curve stomping him in the face, goes for the label lock, gets out of it. Big drop kick, V trigger, then another roaring elbow, another V trigger, and these guys both passed out. These guys are killing it. We're 30 minutes in almost. They're going at a headbutt off, which I'm like, Brian, please stop. I understand you're like the greatest, but please chill. Brian is going nuts with the kicks, strikes. Brian finally wrestles him down. He's about to lock in the label lock, and the match is over. Time limit draw. Talk about a perfect ending. That's exactly what I wanted. I didn't want neither of them to win. Brian finally locks in the label lock. He's about to make him tap out anyway. Bullet Club comes out for the save. They triple super kick Brian, and then Christian and the Lucha Express make the save. And what can I say? It's the best wrestlers in the world. Like I said, AJ Styles, Kenny Omega, Daniel Bryan, Shawn Michaels, I throw Cody Bushi in there too. Like, there's just wrestlers that are special. Like, there's the best in the world category for these certain people, and these guys are it, man. These guys are it. CM Punk comes out for a promo. He wants to see Taz. I'm tired of Punk coming out promo. Like, I know he's trying to probably ease into it, but I've had enough. I want to see you wrestle. Brian Pillman Jr. vs. MJF. This match has actually had a lot of build, surprisingly. Brian goes. It feels weird because I was just talking about Brian Danielson. Now I'm talking about Brian Pillman. He goes right at MJF. Both guys slap the shit out of each other. A pair of arm wrenches by MJF. He does that arm drag to the corner. MJF is using Julia as a shield. Air Pillman. MJF catches him midair with the Salt of the Earth armbar for the win. Easy win here for MJF. Good heat. And Pillman got a big match out of it. So we get the rematch here, which, holy shit, Cody does sure know how to overbook a match. I like his matches, but they're so overbooked. Like, holy shit. Malachi Black versus Cody Rhodes. Jesus, Cody is getting booed out the fucking building. Good to see Brandy back. I know she was having a lot of after child depression, postpartum, I think. So I'm glad to see her back on TV, and she looks great. So, like I said, that woman's a 10 out of 10. Black sits down, starts taunting Cody. Brandy slides in, sits down with him, and tells him to fuck. He basically yells "fuck you" and flips him off. Beautiful disaster kick to Black. Cody then dives, but Black catches him with a flying V trigger. Black mash out of nowhere. I thought that was it. I'm like, yo, squash match number 2. But Cody ends up rolling out. Black cannot. I didn't like how they made Black just seem the weakest motherfucker ever. Like, you can tell this guy's in fucking shape, and he can't pick up Cody Rhodes. Like, he's like, I'm just like, you really can't pick up Cody. Like, come on. Cody's not 600 pounds. Like, he's like, oh, he's dead weighting him. I'm just like, Aleister Black can pick him up. It's Cody Rhodes. Cody's then starts working Black's leg. Crossroads, Black kicks out. Arn Anderson comes in. He's yelling at Cody. Cody hits him by mistake. Arn then yells at Cody. Don't worry about me. Go get him. Cody then hits the ref. Aleister then becomes the Great Muta and spits the mist into his eyes, rolls him up for the win. Like I said, this was a good match, but then what the fuck? We got a ref bump. We got an Arn Anderson bump. We got Brandy getting in. We got the Black Mist. We got fucking everything in the universe. This is Cody. This is what Cody does all the fucking time. Match is way too overbooked, but it was a good match. I liked it. It's just, Jesus, Cody. I feel like I'm watching an Attitude Era match with this dude. At the end of the day, fuck it. Aleister got the win. Whatever. FTR versus Sting and Darby. Probably my second favorite match of the night. Such a pleasure to see Sting still going at it, man. It's crazy to me. Sting with a shoulder block, and then Ric Flair flops on Dax's nuts. That was funny. Sting with a fucking spine buster. Never thought I'd see that before. Hits a crossbody for a near fall. Like, Sting is going in, bro. Stinger splash on both men. Scorpion death drop on Cash. Tully tries to use a chair, but Sting reverses it. Attacks Tully, then gets the Scorpion death lock. Darby hits the coffin drop on the apron to Cash, which looked nasty. Dax taps out. That was fucking great. That was great. And Sting was in the match 99% of the time. What the fuck? Main event time here. This is also a solid match, but it should have not been the main event. I understand what AEW is trying to do. Like, I get it. They keep doing this a lot. They keep putting the women's title as the main event over and over and over and over again. I get it. You don't have to do that when you have Daniel fucking Bryan Danielson is on your show. And his debut match is against the best bout machine Kenny Omega. You're telling me that's not the main event? You're telling me that's not the main event? Like, come on now. But it's Britt Baker versus Ruby Soho, AEW's women's world title. Ruby dives on all of Britt's backup. Britt hits a draping twisted shout, the neck breaker on the outside. That was nasty looking. Ruby with a nice Saito suplex for a near fall. Super kicks pairs to Britt. Britt with a fisherman neck breaker for another near fall, gets her up. Super kick, gets her up again. Another super kick. Britt with a curve stomp. Please stop doing that. Please. Then Ruby hits No Future, which is what they call the Riot Kick now. Then Reba, Jamie Hayter, everybody comes out. They start going nuts. Ruby fights them off. Then Britt locks her in the lockjaw for the win. This match took the Cody Rhodes turn of booking. It was a very good match. But it should have not main evented when you have Bryan Danielson on your show. I'm telling you that right now. People can hate me all they want, but it's true. I'm sorry. But I don't care what title is on the line. You have Bryan Danielson fighting your world champion. Like, come on. This is a great show, though. Great show. Like I said, Bryan Danielson versus Kenny Omega needs no more praising from me. The match was fucking awesome. Like I said, we're still in the honeymoon phase with Punk here. Brian Pillman and MJF killed it. They had a good match. Malachi and Cody was good until Cody said, hit the WCW button. FTR and Darby and Sting was my second favorite match. And Britt Baker and Ruby Soho had a solid match.